Howdy and welcome to the West of the Brazos New Testament in 90 Days. My name is Joshua Bynum. I'm the pastor of Sweeney and Brazoria Methodist Churches. This is week 9. We have read a lot from 6 different books in the New Testament, 3 in their entirety. And I want to share something that struck me as interesting. It got me thinking about the scripture and what God intends in Titus when Paul is writing about the division he's addressing in Titus. You'll notice that he tries to set a standard that is, on one hand, saying no dumb arguments, don't fight over stupid stuff, and then on the other hand, he's saying if somebody is causing division, if they're being troublemakers and starting arguments about dumb stuff, then that's them checking out. That's them excommunicating themselves. So just don't have anything to do with them. They're wanting to separate from the body. So just let them go. And kind of related to that, I'm going to be controversial today, at least a little bit. So in chapter 1, verse 13, he says, "That testimony is true. For this reason, rebuke them sharply, so that they may become sound in the faith, not paying attention to Jewish myths or to commandments of those who reject the truth. To the pure, all things are pure, but to the corrupt and unbelieving, nothing is pure. Their very minds and consciences are corrupted." That got me thinking. The line about Jewish myths, where Paul is telling them, hey, there's some things that are they're Jewish myths. They're things that the people with the Jewish background followed that we as Christians are not bound by, and so they're not necessary for us in our Christian life. And it got me thinking, what are some Christian myths that we have? The things that we hold dear to but are not essential to the gospel. Probably everyone watching this video has a understanding of what it means to go to church. If I tell you, what does go to church mean to you? I think everyone in our 3 churches has probably a pretty similar definition that would they come up with. We all have a similar picture of what worship means, and frankly, I'm uncomfortable when I'm outside of that worship setting. Right? I kind of know my tribe, the kind of worship I'm used to, and when I get out of that, it's not the normal. It doesn't feel natural, and so I've definitely felt God in other worship settings that are very foreign to me, but that takes some intentionality, and I think everybody would agree that there can be other forms of worship that are not like we would do them, but they're still faithful to Jesus. They're still following his calling. And as we enter a new denomination, as we're forming this new denomination, there are discussions about, what do we have to hold in common? What are those things that we can't compromise on at all? And then what are things that we do differently that it's okay if we are doing things differently, that we're holding differently? What theological distinctives do we all need to agree on, and what can be different? I met a student when I was in seminary, and she told me that she had never sang a hymn until she came to seminary. Her entire Christian life, she never sang a hymn, and that blew my mind. But if you just went to a church that only did contemporary music, you would have never sang one. And she was still a Christian, right? I mean, she was still following Jesus, but what she understood church to be was different than what I understood church to be. And so, you know, I'm not planning on changing worship styles at all or anything like that, but I do think we need to be willing to give up our picture of church for Jesus's. If he calls us to do something, I think we need to be willing to follow him. And I haven't felt any call to do anything crazy, to change up anything, but this reading in Titus reminded me that I need to be willing to, that I need to be open to what God's calling, and that's kind of my thought. Hopefully, I've raised your blood pressure a little bit. Got you to thinking. As we live out our lives of faith, we need to be loyal to Jesus first, and so no fighting over dumb stuff. Follow him, keep him in sight, and we'll keep continuing to love and serve him. Y'all have a good day. I hope this brought some new ideas to you and maybe gave you some thought. Have a good one.